It does actually rev up the engine, and we're going to drop the brake. Off we go. No wheel slippage. This thing really does take off and start moving. 2.37 to 30, 5.98. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the 2025 Lexus TX 500h Performance Luxury All-Wheel Drive. Whew. And yes, that name is a mouthful, but after sampling a lower trim of this last year, I was really questioning why you would shop the Lexus over the Toyota Grand Highlander that this is based off of. But after spending a week with this 500h this year, my tune is changing a little bit. And in this video, I'll explain exactly what I mean. Before we jump too far into this one, according to YouTube analytics, something like 70+% of you have yet to hit that subscribe button, and we are so close to 50,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, so a quick click of a button down there will help our channel out immensely in our goal of helping more families research and buy their next vehicle. Before we jump into this one, I do want to say a huge thank you to Lexus for bringing us this 500h, especially after I wasn't in love with the last time we sampled this platform. This 500h and its hybrid powertrain and a lot of its more upscale amenities definitely changed the tune that I sung last time. The last time I sampled this, I was very curious as to why you would shop this over the Grand Highlander on which it is based. This 500h definitely changes that, and a lot of that has to do with what is under the hood here. We get Toyota Lexus's 2.4 liter turbocharged hybrid 4-cylinder engine, here making 366 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque, sending power down to all four wheels through their direct 4 all-wheel drive via a 6-speed sequential shift automatic with 3 different drive modes: Sport, Standard, and Eco, and a Lexus claimed 6.1 second 0 to 60 that we will put to test later on here in this video. Now, I will say, this being a hybrid is Toyota's Lexus's new idea of what hybrids should be, much like the Sequoia, the LX700H, that platform. This hybrid is built more for power. Again, F-Sport, power. The fact that this is claiming a 6.1 second 0 to 60 power. So this one really is not aimed for fuel efficiency, though we see 26-27 mpg across the board from the EPA. We'll talk more when we get inside what we've seen with this one while we've had it. Closing the hood of our Incognito Gray, I will say, as much as I like this millennial gray, I would appreciate a little bit more color on something that is an F-Sport model. And yeah, I mean, it's fine, but color, please. And that continues again onto the inside, which you'll see here shortly. This being the new age of Lexus, we have a very toned down spindle grille up here that on the red version we sampled previously, I think worked a little bit better because of, again, color. But here, I don't know, it seems a little bit of a blank canvas. You sound off down in the comments on exactly what you think of the styling up front here. Otherwise, we get that Lexus checkmark running light, turn signal, all LED lights up here, headlights, fog lights, and the like. It is a very clean look, though a little bit more modern than many Lexus vehicles we have seen lately, and a little bit of a blank slate up here. It has a little bit of a loss of character syndrome, in my opinion. That's not to say I think the TX is ugly by any means, but in a lineup that does include the absolutely beautiful LC Sports Coupe, this TX is just a little ho-hum to me, especially that large blank gray grille up front. But given that we have the F-Sport model, not only do we get lower body cladding, but we get these blacked out 22-inch wheels wrapped in some Continental cross-contact tires. These are 255/45 R22-inch tires, and we'll talk more about how those perform when we get this vehicle out on the road. As we take a look at the entire profile of this TX, I will distinguish that I really want to emphasize that this is a crossover. This is a unibody type construction, not like their other two 3-row vehicles in the body-on-frame GX and LX. This TX is very much focused on interior comfort in all 3 rows, and that is evidenced by the overall very boxy shape. Unlike the Grand Highlander, we get this big plastic separator between the lower body side and the roof that is meant to give it a floating roof profile, but I don't know. That is my biggest design critique of the TX, is I feel like they're just trying a little bit too hard with that black panel. I think it would look better with the incognito gray going down the side there, give up on the floating roof. As we pull around to the back, we get all LED lights back here, LED light bar going across the entire back, LED turn signals, brake lights, all the things back here. And in typical modern Lexus fashion, we do not get the Lexus L on the back, but we get Lexus spelled out there above the license plate. Letting everyone know what we have, we've got this 500H Direct 4 all-wheel drive model. This is not the plug-in hybrid, this is a traditional hybrid. And given its hybrid nature and the fact that it's more focused on interior comfort than overall performance, no visible exhaust shown, though we do have dual exit exhaust if you look down underneath the bumper, down at those 2 corners. We do get a trailer hitch on this one, and I will put the towing numbers on the screen. To open up the back, there are multiple ways to do it. You can kick to open, but since I have the vehicle running, we'll just go ahead and hit that power electronic latch, which opens the rear up to over 20 cubic feet of cargo space behind the 3rd row. This is a far cry from both the GX and the LX. In fact, my family took a 3-row GX on a family vacation. The 5 of us, the 3 of my immediate family and my parents, and we actually had to take 2 cars so that all of us and our luggage could fit. Not the case here in the TX. Just over 20 cubic feet of space behind the 3rd row. And yes, it is a 50-50 2-person split folding 3rd row. That is a power fold, so you can put these seats down simply by holding those buttons right there, and then once it gives you a little double beep, it continues the rest of the way. They are a little on the slow side, but it does expand the cargo capacity into an enormous amount, which you see here on the screen. You can also fold flat the 2nd row captain's chairs from the sides of the vehicle, not from back here, and give yourself just an insane amount of interior cargo space. While we're back here and I can show you better, we do have a little handle there with a USB-C port, and we can power recline those seats, but I'm sure I'll talk about that a little bit more once we get inside. You can also power extend these back into their upright position, and once I give you a double beep, you can let go of them, and that is a very nice but slow process yet again. Underneath the F Sport branded cargo mat here, if I can move it out of the way, we do have a leather strap to show you just a little bit of additional storage underneath here. You can see this is where our retractable cargo shade is stored. We do have a jack down here, and just a little bit of additional storage underneath the load floor there. We do also have some additional power back here if you want to do some tailgating. One last thing about this 3rd row of seats is we do have top tethers back here in the back. We'll talk more about child seat installation in our family review, so you will definitely want to hit that subscribe button. As we move up here, you can see, since we do have a power hatch, we have a power close and a close and lock button right here. You push it, it beeps once at you just to let you know, get out of the way, because it starts moving rather quickly. Before we climb in this TX, I do want to talk about the key. It is your typical Lexus key with all the pertinent buttons here on the backside. You have lock, unlock, your remote hatch release, a panic button. You can deploy a physical key from it if you need it, but otherwise it is nice, compact, and feels fairly premium. You can also buy a key glove from Lexus if you want, but my biggest lament is the remote start functionality. Much like any Toyota Lexus product, you have to push, 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 push and hold the lock button. You can see it already. I'm having just a little bit of difficulty actually making it work. And then because it is a hybrid, you have to make sure you're paying attention when the lights came on. Did the vehicle actually start up? No, it didn't. So again, we are going to have to push, push, nope, push, push, push and hold. Is it going to come on? Is it going to do it? Nope, doesn't want to do it. So a dedicated remote start button would be very welcome here, but it is a proximity system, so you can keep that key in your pocket, your purse, wherever you do keep your keys. It is a totally passive system too, so all you have to do is put your hand on the back of the door here. You can see it unfolds the mirrors there, and these door handles don't actually move because there's an electronic latch on the back side, so you just push that and the door pops open. That is on all 4 doors. The proximity sensor is on all 4 doors, so you can get into any of the 4 doors simply by walking up to it, which is great on a family vehicle. And I do have it on good authority, even though I can't get the remote start to work, to show you right now that because we have Lexus Safety System 3.0, that the vehicle will remain running if you remote start it and open a door, something that we haven't seen on previous generations of Toyota and Lexus vehicles. So that is a welcome addition, especially here in the hot East Texas summer. Coming down to the doors, you can see we have a Mark Levinson sound system in this one, and then we have all of our electronic controls for our windows, our mirrors, our power folding mirrors, and the like right here. We even have an electronic lockout. Nice padded armrest here, two-tone, which I like. Nice storage pocket right here that does have a carpeted liner in here, so if you put something down there, it's not going to rattle and make a bunch of noise. More storage down there as well. 8-way power adjustable seats with 2-way lumbar, which is very nice. The seats are two-tone with F Sport embossed there on the headrest, which is very nice. They're very comfortable. They are heated and ventilated, and we have climate concierge on here, so you shouldn't ever have to turn that on or off. It just knows, hey, it's hot outside. He wants the ventilation on. But if you want to turn it on yourself, it does remember where you had the heat or ventilation set every time you cycle the vehicle on or off. We do have a little bit of suede accenting here on the seats and throughout the interior, which I really do like. Speaking of the seats a little bit more, we do have a 3-person memory driver's seat here, which is also a nice welcome addition. We get in now and close the door. You can see it's prompting me to put my foot on the brake and push the power button right here. And when we do, all of our screens come to life, and we have several looking at us right now. We have this screen, this screen, this screen, and a head-up display, all displaying pertinent information to the vehicle's operation here in front of me. So we'll start with head-up display, full color head-up display with all the necessary information for driving. And as we pull out, you can see, yes, we get a sort of dim interior screen here. I've got it turned all the way up. And you can also start to see a little bit of my problem with it. Not only is it on the dim side, but we have this plastic cover that does create a little bit of glare. I don't find myself really looking down at this screen too much, but it does tell you a lot of information, and you can actually pan through what it says, not by this side, but this side over here. This is another complaint of mine, in that you have these capacitive touch or multi-function buttons on the steering wheel where you can actually pan through what is displayed here. But I'm going to go ahead and show you on the head-up display. That is the easiest way to tell exactly what it is that you're doing. As you put your finger over these buttons, you just lay your finger on the button. It knows that your finger is touching it. Gives you a little bit of a description over what is the function of said button, and then you can actually toggle between what these two D-pads mean. The other side of the steering wheel has that functionality as well, but that is all your audio controls right here, and then you can even adjust your temperature if you would like. But all of that is done from these two D-pads and multifunctional buttons right here. Again, not my favorite. I feel like it's a little too complex for the typical Lexus consumer. It's even a little complex for me. And yes, roast me down in the comments if you'd like. I don't know. I just feel like there are some other vehicles in the Lexus lineup with a more simplistic approach that just works better. Sometimes the simplest answer is the correct one, and I would say that is absolutely the case with the buttons here on this TX. The steering wheel itself is perforated right here, F Sport again, so don't forget. But it is nicely padded, very thick rim, gives you a nice premium feel. Over here, you have your odometer trip reset, your fuel door release, your hatch release, and your brightness control for your gauges. Down here, again, your three-person memory seat for the driver. Coming over here, we have a 14-inch screen that handles everything from infotainment to your climate controls. And yes, if you see it flickering on your screen, believe me, that is not what I am seeing with my eyes sitting here in the vehicle. That is just the difference in the refresh rate of my camera and this LCD screen back here. You can see we're getting 19.8. We have been running a lot of errands in this. I have been sitting and filming a lot today with the air conditioning running, so that is depleting it a little bit, but you can see our previous best, 21.2. That does still fall short of the EPA estimates in this one, but I would say for a big 3-row family vehicle that can go 0 to 60 in a Lexus claims 6.1 seconds, that's fair. So I'm not going to knock it too much, though they do require premium fuel to get those performance numbers. I don't think you actually have to put premium fuel in it. It is just highly suggested on all the Lexus product material when they talk about the overall performance. Moving down further, you can see we have our HVAC controls, dual zone right here, but it is actually a tri-zone. We have 3 zones of audio. You can see, let's see, rear audio, is there a sync? Front, rear, yes, somewhere on here, you can actually sync it to the front seats. For some reason, it is not right there. There we go, sync. Now they're all synced up. Yeah, front, rear, there we go. But just quick access buttons right there. I like that a lot. You can see auto for heated and ventilated front seats, as well as our heated steering wheel, which I really like. You can go into further climate controls right there. Climate concierge really just takes care of all of it for you. Fan speed, heated and ventilated seats, all of it, and it even knows whether or not somebody is sitting over here in the passenger seat or not, all of which I really like. We can close that, and then we can hit our quick access button here, where we can turn on our proactive driving assist, our drive mode button, comfort and convenience controls, head-up display, drive modes, various different controls very quickly accessed here through that button right there, all of which I really like. Otherwise, typical Lexus interface here. I'll show you how it looks with Apple CarPlay in just a little bit, but this does employ wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Moving down further, we get these interesting air vents. They're kind of divided, which is the same over here, and I think they do a fair job. They're placed in a good spot. They're not freezing my hands out, and they're getting airflow to me very nicely. Down here, we have our parking button. The vehicle can park itself if you'd let it, but I find that to be a little bit slow and sluggish. And then we have our quick access camera button. I don't like what happens when you push that button and you are parked. It does this pan. You can't pause it, or, well, you can pause it, and that's really all you can do, but you can't like pan around or do anything with it. It's just kind of gonna do this, and I don't know. I feel like Genesis offers a better 360 camera when you are parked, but when you put it in reverse or drive, you can see we get a bird's eye, we get a clear view out of the front or the back, depending on whether you're in forward or reverse, which I really like. And this has what I call Lexus's invisible car system. So it uses the internal memory of the vehicle to know exactly what it was that you are driving over, and it kind of fills in what is underneath your car there. And you can see, because my shadow, yes, it's populating the shadow there, but if I pull forward, now the shadow is gone. This really helps when parking in parking lots, helping you line up and actually see what it is that you may or may not be driving over. So I do like that a lot. You can even turn it on to auto mode to, when you are at slow speeds, automatically come on, again, to help with parking lot situations. But yes, that is the screen there. Then we have 2 USB-C ports for power, 1 USB-C port to interface with the screen, which I actually like because it's a more stable connection and charges quicker than the Qi wireless charger we have here on this movable tray. Underneath here, we have some additional storage. Speaking of storage, we have removable square cup holders that you can pop in multiple different places in this vehicle. So that is just a unique situation that Lexus has thought of here. You can take both these out, and then you have this big open storage area here. We've got some gloss black buttons here for our terrain modes, our electronic parking brake, electronic brake hold for when you're in stop and go traffic, and your traction control defeat button. Moving back to our center console, it is split opening. There are 2 buttons to open each section. It's all right, but when you get inside, you can see it is felt lined, fairly nicely spacious on the inside, which I like, but I feel like it is just a little too narrow for the split opening function. But you know I like a split opening lid because Holly is always telling me to move my elbow so she can get in and get to our stuff inside. So I guess it's opening wide enough for that. And then talking about some of the suede accents we get throughout the interior, we get a little here above the glove box, which is damped and felt lined. So decent space, damped, felt lined, all of which is very nice. Then we get this curved design back behind the screen. It is your typical modern Lexus interior design, nothing too spectacular. I think it works well, but again, I just wish for more color, and there are color options in the lineup. We just don't have it here. The last screen we have is our rear view camera mirror. You can see it is from the camera. That is that little bump right there. That is the camera. It is actually behind the glass so that you can wipe it off with the rear wiper. You can see we've got all the headrests up. Our view back there is a little bit compromised, but not too bad. But when you flip that switch, you've got a great view out of the back there. We do have some sunglass storage right here that for some reason did not want to open. Interesting, very un-Lexus-like there, but there we go. And then we have a power-operated sunshade and a panoramic glass roof here. So very large panoramic glass roof in this one, very large opening section here over top of me as well. I like the fact that it is dual switches, so you don't accidentally open everything with a single switch by pulling it too far back. You can see we get a nice bit of open air experience from this large panel. And then we do have the roof racks on our particular model. I'm going to go ahead and leave that open so I can show you the view when we get to the back seat. And still, for me up here, plenty of headroom, no complaints at 5'10". As I mentioned when we were talking about the front doors, the back doors also proximity sensor with the lock mechanism on them as well, which I really like in a family vehicle. You can see, yes, we do use this as a family vehicle. Tucker's child seat's already installed, but if you want to see how that is done, be sure and hit the subscribe button down below because I have a complete point of view installation of that child seat in this vehicle. Coming to the back doors, family feature that I love, built-in sunshades, and you can see just how much of the surface area of the back windows these shades really cover. I really like that. Minivans typically are the worst offender in leaving a bunch of uncovered window real estate when you pull these sunshades up, but not here in the TX. Though, given this mechanism, you have to be careful exactly how you go to hook that on the latches up top, but I do like that. Again, moving down low, we have lock controls and window controls back here. Very big storage area here with that carpeted area, padded armrest, electronic door locks, and a little bit of storage down low. Multi-way positional captain's chairs here in the second row, which we really like. You can see we get some suede here. Here we get some dark suede as opposed to the light suede we saw on the front seats, but still that two-tone design. They do recline, they do slide, lots of movement to the seats. We'll talk more about those here in just a moment, but I do want to climb in behind myself and show you we do have stadium style seating here. So I am sitting up a little bit higher than the driver. We do have our tri-zone climate controls back here, heated and ventilated rear captain's chairs, which I really like. And then moving down further, some USB power and some household style power down there. We have storage on the backs of both front seats, which is nice. Storage here on a mini center console with, again, removable cup holders, which I really like. We're actually going to put that in the back seat for future discussion here, but I really do like that. And then this whole thing does remove if you want to take it out. So you've got that handle there, and now you have a nice flat spot for if you did not want some cup holders. So multi-use functionality here. You could have a cargo bin like this. You could have a flat panel. You could have cup holders. They really make it very customizable back here. Again, looking up, we have a nice view out of our panoramic roof. And then I do have reclining bucket seats, which I really like back here, captain's chairs. And then I have sliding seats if you grab the front handle, and these seats come all the way forward and slide quite a bit of the ways back. I am very comfortable back here. These are very comfortable seats, and we do have a fold down armrest if you want some additional comfort and luxury. Another thing I really like, ceiling mounted air vents back here, which is very nice in a family vehicle, especially if you still have rear facing car seats. So that is a very nice touch. Kudos to Lexus for that. But we have a third row to talk about, and that comes down to you can fold the seat down there. So you pull this, number one, then you fold that, and it continues to move out of your way. Or we have this electronic button right here that does really all of that for you, and it releases the seat to move forward so that you can see the 50-50 split our third row seat back here in the back. We've got the dark suede, just like we had in the second row seats, and you can see it is not booty on floor back here. This is the best third row, 3-row vehicle from the Lexus brand. It isn't even close, and I'll go ahead and climb back here and talk about some of its features and amenities. You can see these buttons right here do denote that we do have some lower latch points for child seats, though they are right here in between the two different materials. So you will have to kind of hunt for them a little bit, but they are back here, which is something that we're starting to see more and more in 3-row vehicles. So I really do like that you can put a child seat back here in the third row. I already showed you the top tethers, and there's a nice enough gap here that you can get the top tether underneath this movable headrest. So that is a nice touch. As we come back here, we do have air vents in the ceiling back here, which is very nice. We have lighting up there, nice big rear windows so that you can see out very nicely. It's not claustrophobic back here. And then we've got cup holders and storage areas, and I already showed you the power recline, so you can recline these seats from back here, and some USB-C power. Now, I brought this from the second row because I wanted to show you over here. We have this square cup holder with no grabbers in it, but you can see this one does have grabbers in it, and you can actually put that in place right there. And we've got that pass through there, so if you want to put your phone or have some mugs with handles, you can put that there. But now we have a cup holder back here with grabbers, so it's not rattling around, which is really cool. So you can move these all around the vehicle. You can probably buy some extra from your Lexus dealer so that you aren't having to borrow them for these third row of seats, if that is something that you really like back here. And then why don't we go ahead and pan around to me. This is the upright seating position. My head is on the ceiling a little bit, but I can power recline. I am cutting into the 20 plus cubic feet of space back behind me, but yeah, I'm more comfortable back here. And you can see my feet are, or my legs, our knees are not underneath my chin back here. Again, I'm not booty on floor, but we're gonna actually move behind Tucker's child safety seat here. And yes, I am very impressed. No knee touching here behind Tucker's child safety seat. So very comfortable even in the third row here. And yes, I can power lift this seat up as well. It's having to work a little bit. My goodness, is it going to go all the way? Nope. Yeah, this upright position, that's a no-go. But yeah, reclining it, definitely where it's at. Now let's hop behind the steering wheel and see how this thing performs. Hey babe, summer's almost over. What do we do with all this junk?
Let's put it in the garage.
And this?
Garage.
Our tent?
Garage. 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 Babe, just put it in the garage.
Is it just me, or are we using our garages more and more for all the junk that we collect through life and less for our second biggest investment, that being the car that we drive? Yes, garages are made for cars, but we just find ourselves piling all this stuff inside. Well, luckily for us, FLEXIMOUNT and their GL1 garage lift are here to help. This particular lift supports up to 300 pounds and will hand crank all of your stuff up in the air, allowing you to park your car safely underneath. And if hand cranking it just seems too tiring to you, you can attach any drill to the handle and power it up much faster. It also conveniently locks into place so that you don't have to worry about your stuff coming down on your vehicle or on your head. If you want to learn more about the GL1 garage lift from FLEXIMOUNT, check out the information in the video description down below. Now that I'm sitting with the GoPros mounted up, I can talk a little bit more about the interior, most notably, now that I'm not filming on my iPhone, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, it works as you would expect. It's plenty snappy and responsive. It fills up the top portion, though this portion is still dedicated to your HVACs. You do have your quick access buttons from Lexus right here on the side, but you can hit this button right here and expand it to fill up the whole screen. Now you have to actually hit that Lexus button to go here, but if you don't need that little bit of extra space right there, you can hit that button and it works just fine. All of which works very well. The Mark Levinson sound system works very good in here as well, except yeah, copyright infringement and all that fun stuff. Just suffice it to say, it's a really good sound system for sure. I've referenced a couple of times Lexus claiming a 6.1 second 0 to 60 run, and we're going to test that out thanks to our partners in RaceBox. They supplied us with this GPS acceleration drag timer, lap timer, and you can get one for yourself if you like and save 15% off thanks to our partnership with RaceBox, and help our channel out in the process by using the discount code and the link down in the video description. But as we set off in this one, I'm going to put it in drive, and I'm going to go in here to our different drive modes and actually put us in sport drive mode. It does change up my gauge cluster, automatically kicked the engine on because, well, it's like, okay, you want instantaneous power. So as I mentioned earlier, this hybrid system really is geared more towards performance than overall efficiency, and this sport mode and how it's tuned definitely shows that. Now we're going to see exactly what it is like going 0 to 60. We are on a fairly level, straight stretch of road right here. We're going to come to a complete stop. I'm going to stand on the brake with my left, stand on the accelerator with my right. It does actually rev up the engine, and we're going to drop the brake. Off we go. No wheel slippage. This thing really does take off and start moving. 2.37 to 30, 5.98 seconds to 60. So that beats Lexus's claimed 6.1 second. Though this is a GPS-based system, and it does have 1 foot rollout included on that. So I would say, yeah, Lexus is correct. 6.1 second, 0 to 60. Quite impressive. And because we do have that hybrid power that kind of gives it a boost, we do have the direct 4 all-wheel drive, and we didn't really have any wheel slippage. That is a fairly consistent, repeatable 0 to 60 time, which is actually really good for a vehicle of this size, and especially considering we only have 4 cylinders under the hood, really is making use of that hybrid system for power, not necessarily efficiency. I am going to go ahead though and go back to our drive modes and put it in normal as we are going down our twisty roads here, because we do have a fully adaptive independent suspension on this one. And the suspension of this particular model is one of the biggest reasons why I've changed my tune from the last time we were in a TX and saying you really needn't shop a TX over a Grand Highlander. This one, yeah, this one made me re-examine that stance, because being a 500H, being nearly $80,000, there is a lot of Lexus goodies added to this one, and the adaptive suspension in this is perhaps the biggest plus in my opinion. The ride on it is sublime. It is instantaneously adjustable to the driving conditions. So if I were in sport mode, I would have a little bit of a firmer ride here on this highly textured East Texas back road. And I don't know that I'd be getting any more road noise from our 22-inch Continental tires, but it is pretty quiet in here considering we're riding on 22s. I've got no real complaints from the noise coming in. It is a fairly quiet, damped cabin, but I am really impressed with the adaptive suspension in this. It does a really good job of making the ride in this very Lexus-like. I remember when Lexus was launched as brand, the LS commercials where they had all the glasses stacked on the hood and it was driving over imperfect pavement. Yeah, this really does invoke those old days of Lexus ride quality. It is really good in here. And we will have a few instances on this stretch of road where we will really test that out. It's not floaty, but it is soaking up all the bumps. It is really well tuned. I am getting a little bit of noise from the fit and finish in here, and I think that is mostly due to this sliding panel with my phone sitting on top using the Qi wireless charger. I think that is the only noise I'm getting in here, and I think it is my phone and the material on which it is sitting. I think that is really the only big problem there. So if I move that out of the way, there, problem solved. Just don't use the Qi wireless charger. You can use anything else but that. So yeah, fairly quiet in here for sure. And again, just a really nice, comfortable ride. No real body roll for a big vehicle like this. Yeah, I've bounced over that section in other vehicles here on this stretch of road. Just soaked it up. That too, soaked it right up. I've nearly hit my head in other vehicles bouncing over that. So yes, very good ride and handling in this. Very good NVH, translating here to the interior. And then, yes, the Mark Levinson sound system that I could be listening to absolutely drown out what little bit of road and wind noise we get when driving this around. Now, this being an F Sport, you are going to perhaps lean a little bit heavier on the Sport because, well, I mean, F Sport in Lexus should stand for something, right? And while, yes, 6.1 seconds 0 to 60 is fairly good and does beat out the LX and GX and their acceleration numbers with their twin turbocharged V6, this one really isn't tuned for sporty driving. It is still a big three-row crossover and does come with some sacrifices. So if you really do want a performance Lexus, get the LC, get the RC, get the IS, practically get any of the cars from Lexus. I believe even the ES would be a better performance vehicle than this in the long run because, well, this is primarily focused on moving people and stuff, though it does it in complete comfort. I am very comfortable here in this one. I would like massaging seats. That seems like something we're missing out on, especially when brands like Hyundai are really upping the ante with a new Palisade. We recently tested a Palisade ICE gas only configuration in the top calligraphy, and it did have their Ergo Motion driver seat, which is a massage light. Hyundai doesn't really want to call it massage. We don't have that here in this Lexus, and the price point is nearly $20,000 more. So while yes, I would recommend this over the Grand Highlander for its Lexus-like ride and handling, for its exhilarating acceleration for this class, I would say definitely be on the lookout for Hyundai in the new Palisade because they are definitely raising the bar. I have not tested the Palisade Hybrid yet, but it has very similar power numbers to what we're seeing here in this Lexus, and I think they are going to gear it a little bit more for better fuel efficiency as well, so it may be the better option overall if you can step away from a Lexus into a Hyundai. I'm definitely not going to say that this one isn't a corner carver, but it's not why you buy the TX. Otherwise, visibility out of it is very good. I've already talked about the rearward visibility. Big mirrors here. We have blind spot warnings and all the lane keeping assist, Lexus Safety System Plus 3.0. You can check all the advanced safety features down in the video description below. But now, as we are coming to the end of the twisty bit, we're going to do a couple more 0 to 60 runs. I'm going to leave it in normal. I'm going to brake torque it on one, and I'm just going to set off in the other. So we're going to come to a complete stop here. We are going slightly uphill, so this should be my worst run of all three that I do. But we come to a complete stop, stand on the brake, stand on the accelerator with my right foot, and lift off the brake. Off we go. We got a little wheel spin on that one. It is slower to 30 and 6.43 to 60. So half a second slower, not in sport mode, but doing all the other same things. So again, it really does show you exactly what sport mode does in the configuration of the throttle response, the transmission mapping, things like that. But go ahead, turn that around, go in the opposite direction. I am not going to brake torque this time. So we are going downhill slightly, but I'm just going to move from the brake to the accelerator. Ready, set, and off. Even got a little bit of wheel slippage there, but our best 0 to 30 run, 6.3 to 60 in this one. So again, fairly consistent, fairly repeatable acceleration runs. I'm impressed with the overall power from this turbocharged hybrid 4-cylinder. It really is doing its best V6 impersonation. That about does it though for my time here in this one by myself. If you want to see our full family review, what Holly thinks from her time in it this week from behind the wheel, and what it's like putting in Tucker's child safety seats in both second and third rows, you are going to want to hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified when future videos drop from us. You can find me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, in the 2025 Lexus TX 500h F Sport Premium Luxury, Performance Luxury, Performance Luxury. Until next time, gearheads, bye. It's a baby. Look at that baby. Still nursing too. My goodness. Hey baby, where are you going? It's like, what? You're talking to me? No.